Hello and welcome. My name is Savannah. Thank you for joining me for class today. I will be guiding you through a yoga practice to strengthen your upper body. For this class, we will be using 2 blocks, but only for one posture at the end of class. So if you don't have blocks, you can just skip that part. But another option is you can grab some books that are about the same height. You can use maybe 2 books on each side, so 4 books total, or if you have a bigger book, you can grab 2 bigger books to substitute for your blocks. Again, it's not a large part of class. And then when you are ready, you can meet me in a tabletop position on hands and knees. So we'll get right into things with some movement here. In your tabletop, stack your shoulders over top of your wrists, your hips over top of your knees. Reach the crown of your head forward. Spread all of your fingers a little bit farther apart. Ground down through your fingers, the palms of your hands, as well as your knees and the tops of your feet. So the toes are untucked. Push the ground away from you here to feel a little bit more grounded and centered, steady and stable. Good. Moving through some cat and cow from here. So as you breathe in, arch your spine coming into cow pose. Lift your heart up. As you breathe out, round your spine. You can bring your chin in towards your chest. As you inhale, lift your heart up, lift your tailbone, look up. Exhale to round into cat. Inhale to arch, lift your heart up. Exhale to round into cat. Moving through this a few more times. Working with your own breath. And perhaps working towards making this movement a little bit more fluid, a little bit more smooth. One more here, arching, lifting the heart up. And then as you exhale, round chin comes into your chest. Find center. In your tabletop position from here, we're just going to start to shift the weight forward and back, warming up through the wrists. You can bring your hips to rest onto your heels into a bit of a child's pose. And then as you come forward, the shoulders can come past the wrists if that feels okay for you. Just shifting forward and back. Good, let's find center. Bring your fingers to point to the edges of your mat or the sides of your mat. So your wrists are in, fingers out, and start to shift the weight from side to side. Good, one more over to the right and over to the left. Find center, hands come back into that neutral position, fingers spread far apart. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees up just to a small hover above the ground. We're holding here for just 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knees down. You can keep your toes tucked under or untuck them, whatever you like. We're going to bring the hands a little bit farther forward. Shift your weight forward. We're going to lower the elbows down towards the ground and then straighten the arms. Good. We're going to do this about 10 times. As you lower your elbows down, think about hugging them in towards center rather than allowing them to move out towards the sides like that. So hug your elbows in towards one another as you lower them down. And then lift back up into straight arms. We have our last 2 here. Final 1. Good. Bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. Bring your right hand to your head. As you inhale, ground down into your left hand here and rotate towards the right side. As you exhale, bring right elbow to tap left elbow. Inhale, rotate towards the right side. Exhale, right elbow taps left elbow. 3 more like this. Opening through the thoracic spine. One more time. Good. Plant your hand down onto the ground. Right away, we'll move into that on the second side. So ground firmly down into your right hand. Fingers are spread far apart. Left hand will come to the back of the head. As you take your next breath in, rotate, twist open towards the left side. As you breathe out, bring left elbow to meet the right elbow. Inhale, open yourself up towards the side. As you breathe out, left elbow comes to meet the right elbow. 3 more just like this. Last one here. Come back into your tabletop position, both hands down. Bring your hands a little bit farther out in front of you. Shift your weight forward so you're in a plank pose with the knees down, shoulders over top of the wrists. We're going to stay right here for a few breaths. If you would like more of a challenge, feel free to tuck your toes under and lift your knees up, coming into a full plank. One more breath. From here, we're going to lower down to the ground. If your knees are lifted, you can lower them down to the ground if you would like. Otherwise, for more of a challenge, you can keep them lifted. Lower all the way down. Untuck your toes. Bring one hand over top of the other. Rest your forehead on your hands. Legs will stay down on the ground. Keep your forehead attached to your stacked hands. We're going to lift and lower the upper body. So you can begin when you're ready. We'll do this about 5 times. We'll be coming back to this movement throughout practice. Good. One more time. Lower down. Hands under the shoulders. Make your way into your tabletop position. Excellent. Hands come farther out in front of you. Toes tuck under. Lift your knees up. Lift your hips up into your downward facing dog. Find some movement here. You can bend one leg and straighten the other. You can shift your hips from side to side. As you breathe in, shift forward into plank. Option to lower your knees down. When you're ready, we're going to lower all the way down to the ground. Good. Bring one hand over top of the other. Forehead on the hands. When you're ready, lift and lower 3 times, keeping the legs down. And then from here, hands under the shoulders, press up into your tabletop position. So shoulders are over the wrists, hips over the knees, tuck your toes under. Lift your knees up just to a small hover above the ground. We're staying here for about 5 breaths. However, if you need to lower your knees down and take a break, feel free to do that. Push the ground away from you with your hands, with your arms. Lower your knees down. You can untuck your toes if you like. Let's bring our hands just a little bit farther out in front of us. Lower your elbows down towards the ground. Hug them in towards one another as you lower them. Lift back up to straight arms. We'll do this 3 more times. Last 2 and last 1. Good. From your tabletop, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here, in and out, through your nose. You can find movement in your down dog, or you can simply hold the pose and find some stillness. Good. Let's look forward. Make your way to the top of your mats. Once you arrive, bring your hands onto your shins. Lengthen out through your spine, so reach your heart forward. Send your hips back towards the wall behind you. Press your hands into your shins to find more length. You can keep your hands where they are, or you can bring your hands together at heart center. Keep a nice small bend in your legs so you're not locking out through your knees. We're here for 1 more breath. Good. Release down into your fold. Plant your hands down. Step back into downward facing dog. Lift your hips up. Take a full breath here. As you inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Option to lower your knees down to make that transition. Toes can untuck once you arrive on your belly. One hand over top of the other. Rest your forehead on your hands. You know the drill. Legs will stay down on the mats, and we will lift and lower our upper body. You can begin when you're ready, and we'll just do this 3 times. Releasing and bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. Lift up into a tabletop position. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Fingers spread far apart, toes tuck under. Lift your knees up to a hover. Good. We're here for a few nice big breaths. Again, can you think about pushing the ground away from you to find more strength in your chest, in your shoulders, your biceps and your triceps, the fronts and the backs of your arms. We're staying here for just 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees down. Bring your hands a little bit farther out in front of you. Lower your elbows down to the ground. Lift them back up. Good. We have 3 more of these. Focus on engaging your triceps here, the backs of your upper arms. Good. Lift your hips up now, downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, as always, you can find movement or you can find stillness. We're just here for 1 more breath. Make your way to the top of your mat. Feet will meet your hands. Then bring your hands onto your shins as you lengthen your spine. Halfway lift. Reach your heart forward. Small bend in your legs so you're not locking at your knee joints. Keep your hands where they are, or maybe this time you bring your arms straight out to the sides. Allow your back to be parallel to the ground. Can you become a little bit steadier here, a little bit more centered and stable? Good, release down into your forward fold. Take a full breath here. As you inhale, come into a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands down, step back to downward facing dog. As you breathe in, shift forward to plank. As you exhale, lower your knees down, or you can keep them lifted. We're lowering all the way down to our belly. Good, toes can untuck, one hand over top of the other, forehead on the hands, lift and lower your upper body 3 times. Last one. Hands underneath your shoulders, press up into your tabletop. Hands and knees, tuck your toes under, lift your knees up just to hover above the ground. We're staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your knees down. Bring your hands a little bit farther out in front of you. Lower your elbows down towards the ground. Again, try to hug them in towards center rather than allowing them to move out towards the sides. Good. 3 more like this. Last one right here. With the toes tucked under, lift your hips up into your downward facing dog. Find movement or find stillness, but find what feels good for you in this moment. Allow your left hand to be super heavy on your mat, grounded down. And then allow your right hand to become a little bit lighter. Maybe just come up onto the fingertips of the right hand so the palm is lifted. If this feels like enough of a challenge for you today, you can stay right here. Otherwise, if you're looking for more, you can start to lift the right hand all the way up off of the ground, maybe keeping it towards your right shoulder or extending the arm back towards the hip. So the arm can be straight, hand towards the hip, or the arm can be bent, hand towards the shoulder. We'll stay here for 1 more full breath. Release the right hand down. Ground down into both hands. As you inhale, shift forward into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog, twice more flowing from down dog to plank. Exhale, down dog. Last time as you breathe in, shift forward. As you breathe out, shift back. Good. Become nice and heavy here in your right hand. Fingers are spread super far apart. And then get a little bit lighter on the left hand, maybe tenting up onto the left fingertips. So the left palm is lifted up. Stay right here if this feels like enough for you. Or if you're looking for more, you can lift the left hand all the way up, maybe bringing it towards your shoulder. Or you can straighten your arm, bringing the hand towards your hip. Good, we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. As we stay here, think about pushing the ground away from you with your right hand and also with both of your feet. Excellent. Release the left hand down. Right away as you breathe in, shift forward to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Twice more. Inhale, shift forward, plank. Exhale, downward facing. 1 more time. Inhale, plank, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale to look forward towards your hands. As you exhale, make your way to the top of your mat. Hands can come up onto your shins. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Ground down into your feet. Maybe you can spread your toes farther apart on your mat. You can keep your hands where they are, or you can bring your hands to heart center. Or if you're looking for more of a challenge still, you can bring your arms straight out to either side into a T. Reach your heart forward. And imagine that I'm placing a cup of coffee on your back. And you're staying so still, so steady and stable that you're not allowing that cup of coffee to spill on your mat. One more breath right here. Release down into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands down, step back to plank. Shoulders over top of the wrists. We're here for a few breaths. If you prefer, you can lower your knees down to the mat. If your knees are down on the mat, make sure your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Your hips aren't lifted up too high, so you're in a long line from your knees to the top of your head. Otherwise, if your knees are lifted, you're in a nice long line from the heels all the way to the top of your head. One more full breath. Push the ground away from you with your upper body. Downward facing dog. From here, ground down into your left hand. Reach your right hand back towards your right calf. Finding your balance here, grounding down into your left hand and each of your feet. Place your right hand down, other side. Left hand reaches towards your left calf or maybe the left hamstring. Good, switching from side to side a few times. So bringing more weight into just one arm as you reach the opposite hand back towards the leg. Good, one more, reaching back for the right calf, setting the right hand down, left hand to the left calf, setting the hand down. Good. Lower your knees down to your mats, tabletop position. Move through a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhale to arch, lift your chest up. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch, lift your heart up. You can look up as well. Exhale to round, look towards your mat. Inhale, arch. Exhale to round. One more time, just like that. Excellent. Find center. From here, lower down onto your forearms. Hovering tabletop, which we have done all throughout class. Now we are doing it on our forearms. So tuck your toes under. When you're ready, lift your knees up just to a small hover above the ground. We're staying here for just a couple more breaths. Keep your body nice and low to the ground. Push the ground away from you with your forearms, with your hands, using the strength of your upper body. Lower your knees down. Come back up onto your hands. Shift forward. Lower down to your belly. Good. This time, we are going to bring our arms straight out into a T, so off to either side. Lift up everything away from the ground. As you exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Lower down. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Press up into your tabletop. Lower your forearms down onto your mats. Tuck your toes under. We're coming back into our hovering tabletop on the forearms. So the knees can lift up just to a small hover above your mat. We're here for just a couple of breaths. Look at your mat just in between your forearms. Lower your knees down. Come back up onto your hands. Shift your weight forward so you're in a plank with your knees down, shoulders over the wrists. Lower down to your belly. Arms straight out into a T. As you breathe in, lift everything up away from the ground. Exhale, lower. 2 more times like that. Last time. Bring one hand over top of the other. Rest your forehead on your stacked hands. We'll hang out here for 3 to 5 breaths. Excellent. From here, hands come under the shoulders. Press up into a tabletop. This time we're making our way into a reverse tabletop to work on the triceps a little bit more. So come into a seated position. So your legs can be bent in front of you. Hands will plant down onto the ground behind you. Fingers are spread far apart here. Then when you're ready, lift your hips up away from your mat just a little bit. And we're going to start to bend the arms and then straighten them. So as we bend the arms, the hips will lower down. As we straighten them, the hips will lift back up. Good. Find your range of motion here. It's okay if your range of motion is small. You can move slow, you can move faster. We're going to do just a couple more. Excellent. Last one right here. Lower your hips down. Come into a cross-legged position. Hands on the knees. As you breathe in, lift your heart up. You can look up if that feels okay for your neck. As you breathe out, round your spine towards the wall behind you. Chin can come in towards your chest. Inhale to lift your heart up. Exhale to round. One more round like this. Inhale to lift the heart up, arching the spine. Exhale to find your cat pose. Come into a neutral position. And from here, we are going to use our blocks to try a little bit of an arm balance. So legs can be straight out in front. One block will be on each side of your hips, and they will be on the lowest level. Otherwise, if you're using books, just make sure the books are at about the same height. So it will be equal on each side. Then hands come onto the blocks or your books. Fingers are spread far apart. Push the ground away from you with your hands on the blocks to lift your hips up away from the ground. We're going to stay here for one full breath. Excellent. Lower down. If you would like to, you can bend your legs. Hands can be on the knees. Maybe just give yourself a bit of a hug. Good. We're going to add on to that. So extend your legs. You can move your blocks if you need to a little bit forward or a little bit back. Find a position with your blocks that feels good for you. And then once again, hand on the blocks, fingers spread far apart. Push the ground away from you with your hands, using the strength of your upper body here to do that. Lifting your hips up. And then maybe you lift one foot up off of the ground. Maybe you lower it down and you try the other leg. Good. Can you lift your right leg up? Lower it down. Left leg up one more time. Lower it down. Lower your hips down. Bend your legs. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a hug here. Good. One last add on. And you can stay at any of the previous variations. You don't have to keep adding on if it's not working good, if it's not feeling right for you today. Make this practice work for you and take into account how your body is feeling today. So when you're ready, hands can be on the blocks. Fingers spread nice and far apart again. Push the ground away from you with your hands. Lift your hips up. Can you lift your feet up away from the ground? Maybe one foot, maybe both legs. Good. Lower down. Excellent work. Bend your legs. We are done with those blocks. Give yourself a hug. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Excellent. Let's now extend the left leg long. Bring your right foot to the outside of the left leg. Right leg is bent. Left arm will wrap around the right leg. Reach your right arm up and then bring the right fingers down to the ground behind you. Can you sit up a little bit taller here in your twist? Initiate this twist from the base of your spine and also from the core. Maybe you can use the left arm around your right leg and the right hand on the ground behind you as leverage to twist a little bit deeper. Excellent. Make your way through center and we'll switch over to the second side. So the right leg will be long. We will bend the left leg and we'll cross the left foot to the outside of the right leg. Right arm will wrap around the left leg, and then left arm can reach up towards the sky. Bring the fingers down onto the ground behind you. Can you sit up taller here? Find more length through your spine. Lift up through the crown of your head. Can you also keep your right leg, your shin and your ankle a little bit more active by flexing your toes up towards the ceiling? Allow this twist to begin from the base of your spine. Come through center, release your legs, and then lower down onto your back. Once you arrive on your back, bring your knees into your chest. You can wrap your arms around your legs, giving yourself a hug here. Maybe as you give yourself this hug, you take this time to express gratitude toward yourself for showing up on your mat, moving your body, building strength, taking care of yourself. As you feel ready, you can release yourself long onto your mat for Shavasana. Now, if it doesn't feel good for you to lie on your back for Shavasana, you can also lie on your side. The knees can be bent, and you can use your bottom arm as a pillow for your head. Another option is you can lie down on your belly. And you can also practice Shavasana in a seated position if that's what you prefer. Make any adjustments that you need to. But then, as quickly as you can, drop right into the pose. Allow your body to rest. Allow your breath to just flow naturally and effortlessly. And as your mind drifts off to other things, other places, bring your awareness back to the present moment by using your breath. Watch your breath. Feel your breath. Listen to your breath. Take this time here at the end of your practice to rest in your Shavasana, integrating all of the wonderful work that we did today in our practice. If it feels right for you at this time, begin to deepen your breath, allowing each breath to be just a little bit longer than the one before it. And then as you feel ready, bring some movement into your body. Move in a way that feels intuitive for you. Gradually make your way over onto one side. Knees can be in towards your chest, and you can use your bottom arm as a pillow for your head. And here I invite you to take a moment to thank your body. Acknowledge all that your body allows you to do. Acknowledge and recognize all of the things that your body is capable of. And then you can come on up into a comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for checking out this class. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're feeling strong, confident, empowered. If you did enjoy this class, please be sure to hit that red subscribe button. This will ensure that you never miss a new yoga class from me. I share a new yoga class every Friday here on my channel, and I would love to see you back for another one. You can also share my channel or this video with a friend, family, or on social media. I really appreciate the support. It means so much to me. I hope you have a lovely day. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.